I know that nigga. I know he got an annual subscription to multiple apps because there is just no. It's not that much motivation in the world. It's just not.
So that was a lot to unpack. What do you have to say about that video?
You know what, you baby, look, what's left to say about that
Right.
video? What's left to say? Because I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I love about this panel that you assembled today is you got some of everything. You got Maya over there educating. You got Nikki over here bringing education and some fuck you, and then you got me. I ain't educating shit. I'm gonna talk about your ass. I'm gonna fuck you. But
Yep.
every now and I drop them stats just to humble bitch. So I love this panel because in this space that we live in right now, all of these viewpoints are needed. And
Exactly.
girl, look, let me tell you something. I can't even look. Rarely am I left speechless.
Listen,
With my big ass mouth, rarely you ate that down. You covered
thank you.
every point. You covered the shucking and jiving. And I'm gonna just tell you, and I don't know if it's any truth to it, and I don't like putting misinformation out. That whole crack ass bitch that supposedly called the boy the N-word, and so there's talks that was a setup.
Really?
Wow.
To get money
I wouldn't be
because now
surprised.
he has a Givensendgo.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
And I don't
surprised.
know how true that is. Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised at the grift because that other lady, I know y'all saw the video with Piers Morgan and that
Yep.
Lily Gladys, whatever. She's already tried one time and failed to go viral off the N-word. She did go viral, but it didn't parlay into
Yeah.
anything. She thought she was gonna be the next Tommy Lauren. So now she's trying everything she can to do that. So I'm not surprised that these
Mhm.
white people using racism as a grift because look at who's doing it. Look who they learning it from. Donald Trump.
Come on.
He's the master white supremacist grifter. So that's what I'm saying. They're
Come
taking our
on.
content now and they're
Yeah.
flipping it. So I wouldn't be surprised. But the thing is you got to be careful because she might have got that money, but you're living in bondage for the rest of your life because
Come on.
she has to watch her back at all times because
Yeah.
you never know. Because we're not gonna forget that, and we're not gonna forget you. And
Yeah.
even though she look like a typical meth face, it's still you still got to go out in public. So it's like at what cost is it worth it? But I wouldn't be surprised if it was a setup because like
No,
just
I
certain
don't.
things about it
Yeah.
seemed
Yeah.
off.
It just
Certain things
it was
about the
Overproduced.
just
It
situation.
did not give
yeah.
setup to me. She just came out with a video thanking everybody for giving her the money, and she announced that she did get all of the money. It came to her for her family's protection,
Yeah.
and she also talked about how America they need their pretty much MAGA. They need to take their America back and protect their white women and children from black thieves and just all type of crazy stuff like this. She just it was a couple days ago. She just dropped the
Yeah,
video,
I saw that video.
and I'm
She
just
did
Yeah.
that.
like,
I don't. I 100%. I don't doubt that she's not a full blown
Racist.
racist.
Yeah.
She is, and she need her motherfucking head caved in.
yeah,
But the way it kind of went down to me screamed it didn't feel authentic. It didn't the whole, you know what I mean? The whole
but
thing just
see,
didn't
that's
feel
the thing
authentic.
about the
But I don't
internet,
doubt for a
though.
second, Maya.
That's the thing about the internet,
Mm-hmm.
though. Everything is being so desensitized now. Like even with the videos of the police
Yeah.
and black people wrong, a lot of people will be in the comments like, "Oh, that's fake," and I'm like, "It's fake until it's one of y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
you're
shouldn't
right.
believe
You
Yeah.
are
it until it's one of
absolutely right.
y'all."
And you want to know another thing is you mentioned something about this when a sports team like lose or win. So I went to KU. I remember when the Jayhawks won the basketball. When I tell you they tore up the entire downtown, and the news
Mm-hmm.
had it as they're passionate, they're living the dream, and I was like, but they're tearing up people's stores, they're tearing up people's houses, they're busting
Yeah.
windows out. You
Boys
gotta
will
make it
be
make
boys.
yeah, boys. I said you got to make it make sense. Like that, I see
Yeah.
that happens a lot when it comes to any type of things that they're a part of. So that's why I was shocked that nothing happened to them on what was it, April 5th, that they had the
Yeah.
protest. I wasn't shocked about that. But I will say this: I think you need to Shannon Sharpe that.
Oh, please. You need to encourage everybody to go to that video and
Oh,
tag him.
Oh yeah.
People,
Tag
some people
him.
have, but I will put it. I'll go back and put a comment there. But some people have tagged him, and it's
Yeah.
her being white was like the cherry on the top of his demise, because it's like, at what point are y'all going to realize that it's not worth it? And this is not saying you can't be in interracial relationships. Is it for me? No. But I'm saying, like, you don't have to disparage black women to do it. If you truly love the white woman that you with, then why is it that every time you ask a black man that claims he prefers white women why they prefer white women, they can't do it without talking down on a black woman? If
But
you
you
can
know
only
what's
do it,
crazy about that? Ask a white man why he prefers black women, because they're strong, because of this, because of,
yep, he
ask
can
an
tell you.
Asian man, ask any other race of man why they prefer black women. They're uplifting black women. You ask a weak-minded ass nigga why he like white women, because these black bitches.
Yep,
Come on.
And the
because
Come
crazy
he
on.
know
thing is, you came from one.
that's it.
That's where it starts. The ultimate bitch is your, gotta be your mama. You learned it from somewhere.
They don't have, because if you notice, any other race of men, especially like you said, white, Latino, all that, even if they don't like their respective counterparts, there's a code there that they don't disparage them in public.
yeah.
You rarely see a white man talk shit about a white woman in public. If that man can hate his wife, but you will never know it unless it's behind closed doors. They will present a united front. Now, that's not to say they won't talk about white women if if they incels or whatever, but for the most part, they don't
Yeah,
disparage their counterparts publicly the way black men would disparage us quickly and in a
yeah,
hurry. They disparage us
yeah.
publicly. And then it's always, oh well, I had one guy in my comments, oh, this is why black men are going to white women because they treat us better. And my response was, congratulations, you should go where you love. And he had no follow-up, because you thought I was gonna go back and forth with you about how you want to be with
Mm-hmm.
a white bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You could be with whoever you
They
Yeah.
want.
always
But
want
when
to
she
be with a
put
white girl until until they
until
need us to
until
have
you
Uh,
their
want to
back.
it's,
until you want us to
until
stand up
it's
and
time to
fight
get
some.
reminded that you a nigga.
Exactly.
Okay.
You want to be with a black girl
But you know
until
what?
she's
That goes to that
chest.
point that you said, Nikki. They want these white women. They want that white pussy. They want proximity to that white privilege. But when that hoe leave you, guess what she leaving with? That white pussy and that white proximity.
Exactly.
And
She
all
taking
you
it with you,
left
don't get
with
it.
is your fucking feelings hurt and haven't been reminded that you are a field nigga.
I
Mm-hmm.
always say one thing about white people, and this is from a person who, one of my best friends is white, but she's like true European. But one thing I know about white people is they always gonna get white. I don't give a fuck.
Come on.
At some point, they gonna get white. I don't give a fuck how cool you think they are. I don't give a fuck how down they might seem. At a point, a time and place and point is going to come where they are going to have to remind you that they're fucking white. They're going to get
When it
white.
comes down to the wire, they're gonna choose white every time. One of my
Exactly.
closest friends is a white girl, but she'll tell you, shit, because we have these talks all the time. I know you don't trust me, and I understand why. No, bitch, I don't trust you. Because when you out of my field of vision, oh, I don't know what type of white cracker shit you are. And I
There you
tell her
go.
that all the time. And this is one of my closest friends.
Exactly. It's
I
like
love
we
this girl
know.
dearly. I
Yeah.
don't trust her.
No.
I don't
We
trust
come
her.
first. We'll never come
If
first.
if 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 I was hanging off a cliff, let me tell you something, bitch. If I was hanging off a cliff and that bitch reached her hand out, I'd be looking for every other way up that cliff. Bitch, I don't trust you, and you have eaten in my home. No, bitch, I'd rather give me a snake. I grab a snake, a loose tree branch before I grab your hand. I'm just
Yep.
not gonna do it. I don't
Yep.
trust them.
We don't, and we
Ain't
have,
gonna do it.
and they don't. What bothers me is when the ones that act like they don't understand our
Ooh, you took the words out
distrust,
my mouth.
when they take the distrust personally. And it's
Yep.
like, no, we're not looking at this individually. We got to look at this collectively, because the
Right.
collective shit is what moves the needle. I don't give a
Come
fuck that
on.
you individually voted for Kamala Harris. Collectively, you hoes voted for Trump. That's how the fuck I gotta see this
Because
shit.
if you didn't
Okay.
do enough in the beginning to stop it from happening, bitch, you are just as culpable as them hoes that went in there and pushed the button for Trump.
Exactly.
And
And
then
when
they
they
just gotta
don't,
be realistic.
yeah.
If it's a group, if I'm with my Caucasian friend and I get into a fight with some Caucasian women, baby, you gonna have your people back. You're not gonna have my back just because I'm with you. You
Mm-hmm.
gonna always ride for your people, and your people gonna always come first, no matter
Or
how
you
much.
gonna be too busy riding the fence. No, bitch.
Well, yeah,
No.
No.
maybe you could have just walked away, or maybe them bitches couldn't have talked to me.
Right.
Exactly. That's
Right.
how it's gonna always go. It's gonna always come down. It's gonna always come down to that flip. It's always that little right that. But you could have done this, or but maybe no, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. If you my friend and somebody come up here on some bullshit, it ain't no wiggle room over here. You know what the fuck to do, because if that happened to a black, if I saw you, some white people attacking you, I wouldn't even have to know you. I guarantee you, as a black woman, I'm coming over there across the street and
Come
asking y'all what the
on.
fuck is up.
Yeah.
Come
Okay,
on.
We don't need. That's one thing about black people. We literally can walk up to each other and start quoting the color purple and just have a
Come
good
on.
old time.
good
And
God.
and white people don't understand
They don't get it.
the intricacies of what we can say so much just by looking at each other. And that's all we gotta do. We'll have a whole ass conversation just looking at each other. But when we go in rooms, that's the thing about white people. I need them to understand that we as black people never stop segregating. So when don't threaten us with a good time, because we never
Come
stop.
on.
Because every
Okay,
time we go somewhere, what's the first thing we do? We look for niggas. We not looking for y'all.
okay.
We looking
Every
for people that
time,
look like us. I
every
don't
time.
give a fuck where I'm at. Anytime
But
I
you know
walk
what,
into a
white? They
room,
they they don't have community. They do
exactly.
not. The only community white people ever have is one based in their hatred of black people and other races. They white
Exactly.
women especially. They don't know how to community. So they see these strong, vivacious, outspoken black women, and they want to be a part of it. But when you don't immediately accept them, that inherent racism comes out, and that's why I'm gonna push you. I don't give a fuck, bitch, if you walking around with a Black Lives Matter shirt. I don't give a fuck how many little black kids you got. I'm gonna push your buttons because I guarantee you right below the surface is that crackerism. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it come out. I don't respect these races that get out here and don't speak their mind. I need to see you coming. I respect the ones that's bold enough to speak. Let me know you hate me. Let me know
Right,
Exactly.
you think I'm a
right.
nigga. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm dealing with. And that's what happens in the corporate world. And what I found, I had an incident at this job I used to work. We were in a team meeting and I was speaking. This white hoe cut me off, put her finger up and was like, I don't mean to speak for you or over you, but, and then this hoe proceeded to do both. I tracked this bitch down later because the meeting wasn't the time, because I'm never going to nigger out in a meeting because I got bills to pay. So so I ain't going to nigger too hard in a meeting. I tracked this whole down to a conference room. And this is why I don't trust these. I don't trust none of them. And I don't hate white people. That takes too much respect. But I tracked this whole down to a conference room. And I told her, I said, there will never come a time where I will need you to speak for you. I'm very capable of articulating my thoughts. And as far as speaking over me, as if your thoughts and your opinions outvalue and outweigh mine, let's never have that happening yet. When I tell you, Nikki, Maya, and X, when I tell you, it was like a movie, like the cameras went on. This I didn't I didn't know that's what I was. Now, if I was a weak black man, I would have been on her knee. Oh, so don't you cry, Mr. White Lady.
Shannon
No,
Sharpe.
I stood there and watched
Yeah.
this hoe. I stood there and watched this hoe. And I did not blink. And when she realized, like 2 minutes into this performance, that I was not moved, she stopped. And I said, honey, are you done? Let's not do this, and let's not let this happen again. And I walked out. And that's why I don't trust them. Because at any minute, those white tears have cost people their jobs. They've cost people their lives. They've cost people their children. I will never trust them.
Yep.
Main reason why I got my ass up out of Kansas. Everybody said, "You going back?" Nope. I barely go back to even visit family. Because it was an everyday occurrence. But I want to read some of the comments from your video. See what your fan says. JD PB123, my favorite lady right here. Court is in session. Tavia Gottness Latrice, I love it here and welcome back. You've been missed. Pooh's Corner 27, sister, you just wiped it all out and left the truth sitting there for all to see. No one lie told. And then somebody said, I hope you have a podcast. So I'm going to definitely, as I'm like filming, I'm going to be playing like all y'all videos. That way y'all can like know, but keep having the content because the content is excellent.
Thank you. And I, again, thank you for having me on the panel with you ladies. I watch you all. And even before I even got the following, Miss Janine, like I would look at you and I would be like, that's what I want to be. Like, like when I see your videos, I would be, before I even got a following, I would see you every day and I would just be like, if I ever got the nerve to do this. And what happened was, like, it was the election. Like I say, God, everything happens at the exact moment that it's supposed to. And election night, I had 25 followers on TikTok. I thought nobody's gonna see this rant. Let me just get this off my chest. And hours later, I woke up to like thousands of followers, and I said, you know what? God gave me a platform. Now I got to use it. It's my responsibility to use it. He put me in a position to get this following, and I'm proud that, yes, it got me about 25,000 followers. I'm at 85, so I feel like those 60 and all from IG, just everywhere, I know I earned that follow, and that makes me, that's special to me, because it's like I earned that. I did that work, or I earned it from you. And I appreciate that more, knowing that I do that. And I know people like, oh, I want you to record every day. And I just don't, because of my job, I don't have the time. But I always want to make it worth it. I'm never going to put out a video for the sake of a view. Because when you do that, you lose what this is about. I don't get paid off of this shit. I'm literally being myself. This is me for 44 years. And I think that's what people respond to all of us, is because we're literally being ourselves. We're not gonna sugarcoat shit, because life ain't sugarcoating shit.
And it won't.
And we're saying things. Yeah, we ruffling a lot of feathers, and that's what the fucking point is. The point is to ruffle feathers. It's to ruffle the feathers of the people that don't look like us and the people that do. Because everybody, I mean, hey, we black, but that don't mean black people don't be on no bullshit. So we still gotta call everybody out. But at the end of the day, we know we're black first. And we're never gonna come first to people that don't look like us. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's never gonna happen. So I just appreciate being a part of this, and I hope to do it again. I got to be on here with both of my idols, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to.
Well, Nikki, I'm glad you found your voice, because your voice is powerful and is needed, honey.
Thank you.
For sure.
And both of yours is needed as well. It
Both
brings
of y'all,
me
right?
joy.
Because
It
mine,
brings me
damn,
so
you
much
ate
joy.
them. Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to get more like y'all, because I feel like I be a little too soft spoken with the shit. I feel like I be a little too chill. I gotta bring my little gangster.
But you know what? It's like I was saying, it's a niche needed for everything.
Yeah.
Your niche is in educating. You know what I mean? Because they didn't learn the truth in history. Hell, we barely did. How you gonna trust a white man to tell you the truth about your history? How you gonna
Exactly.
trust the oppressor to teach you your history? You know, or it ain't even our history; it's their history, and our history is how we survived it. But I think there's a niche, and I think you girl, because you said a couple of things in there that and I pride myself on educating myself on stuff before I open my big ass mouth. And you taught me some things today. So your voice is very much needed. Please keep teaching. Please keep doing them Wednesdays, baby, because
I appreciate y'all.
And you know what I'm going to do? I was going to play those other videos, but I'll probably just end us on just a positive video, unless y'all wanted to see that other video that I was about to display.
It's up to you.
Okay.
It's up you. Whatever you want to do.
Let's end it on positive because you got me worked the fuck up.
So I'll play.
I'm ready to go slap a bitch.
I'll play this video and then I'll end it on a good one. So let's see.
Okay.
Walked up. Get out. I live here. I can't get out of my fucking house.
Yeah, I think a simple "can you move your truck, please" would have sufficed. Right. Yeah, glad I recorded that.
You know, just walked up.
Now, did you hear what she said when she got to the car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you, they feel comfortable now. They are.
She wasn't too comfortable. She waited till she got to that car door.
Yep.
Right. Until she was
know.
safely in that
know.
car. Come on.
She got to that car. She got to that car when she said that shit because she knew
Come
right
on.
where she was. Right, see that truck right where she is right now. They could have snatched her right up in that motherfucker. And
Let me
that's
tell you
exactly
something.
what.
Let me tell you something. That
Oh my God.
it ain't gonna never be a time I'm gonna be with a black man and a white woman get out of pocket like that. I'm gonna tell him get my bail money together, and I'm gonna drag that bitch. I'm gonna turn that bitch every which way but loose.
There you
You're
go.
gonna learn today, and that's the problem. That's the problem, and that's why they still feel so comfortable because they not getting knocked the fuck out enough. And I don't promote violence. I don't condone it. But baby, you're not gonna call me a nigger with a heart, bitch. Come on.
I was
Nah,
just
we
white dude's podcast, right? And that's something that he said. He said one time he said the N-word when he was younger, but he wasn't saying it like calling somebody an N-word. He was just, he was just like it, whatever. However he said it, he said he got beat the fuck up. He said not enough white people
Right.
beat the fuck up because he learned that day not to ever say that shit again.
exactly.
That part.
That's the problem. That's why I said we got to put the phone down and start because to me that whole the more you show them on the video they get off on this shit because now
Yep.
they're before they were afraid but now they got Trump in
Yep.
office so they're not afraid of consequences anymore. They're not afraid of losing their job. And this Shiloh Hendrix just said, oh, I can call you a nigga and get paid off of it. They're going to be even more emboldened, so we got to be emboldened now. And I understand how we got to wait, we don't want to be the ones to hit first and all of that. And I get that. But if you in my personal space, I'm going to do everything I can to knock you the fuck out. Now, if you talking shit from a distance, I'm gonna talk shit back. But the moment you come up in my fucking face, you in my personal space, we gonna have
All
to
bets
handle
are
some
off.
fucking business. We gonna have to do something because you way too
Amen.
comfortable. You way too fucking comfortable saying the N-word because you don't think it's repercussions. You have free speech. You can say whatever you want, but you can also get knocked the fuck out by saying whatever you want. As long as you
Okay.
know it's consequences. So this is why at this point in time, we got to stop that whole, oh, I'm recording the interaction for clout. Nah, fuck that. Put the phone down, do what you got to do, and then that's it. Because I guarantee you, they ain't going to remember that video, but they going to remember that ass whooping.
They gonna
And they
remember
going to
that. And they gonna
remember
think twice next
and they
time.
will think twice before saying it because she had enough common sense to know to get her ass to that
I'm gonna
fucking
give you
car.
a reason to call me a nigga.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
she
give
got.
you a reason to call me a
They
nigga.
forgot the basic science that they taught us in school. For every action, there's a reaction, and you cannot fucking control my reaction to your initial action. So call me a nigga and see what happens.
You know what's also funny? I like history, but I like listening to like world history. Just like world news.
Yeah.
And in Greece, if a cop kills or unalives somebody that's a family member of somebody, they go back and do it to that cop and their family. That's why
Yep.
they don't have a lot of just police killings and they don't have that stuff because out there it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And it's the same. I think it's the same in the Middle East as well. You run somebody else's kid,
Yep.
your kid gonna be ran over the same way. And I think
Yep.
that's the problem that we're having right now is that they're not getting these consequences. And I
But see,
think
they
that's what
won't
we do.
ever let us get those. They won't ever let us do that because we'll be killing off their population. Because it's
Well,
them
here's
that's
the
doing it.
thing. They don't have a choice. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. I got 2 kids that I carried in my womb for 9 months. Call him a nigga if you want to. Call them and put your hands, take the lives of one of my kids if you want to. One thing I can promise you, as sure as I'm breathing and running my big ass mouth right now, you will never catch Janine Annette Blasine on the motherfucking news begging my oppressors for help. No, what
Nope.
I'm gonna be doing is watching the news, getting all the information I can on who did this to my child. And I'm not coming straight to you. And I'm gonna say this, and I ain't afraid to say it. I'm not coming straight to you. But what I am going to do, I'm going to round up you and everybody that you love. And you're going to sit there and watch me. And I'm going to start with your dog, your cat, your bird, your snake, your gerbil. I'm going to start there and I'm going to work my way up to your Meemaw. And I'm going to leave you alive to see what the consequences of your, and I promise you that. And I promise you that. I'm never going to allow somebody, and that's why I stand 10 toes down with Rodney Hitton. He did what he had to do. I don't give a fuck if he got the wrong cop. He got a cop. They don't need
Exactly.
to, you know, come on.
That's why they were mad.
That's why they're mad. They don't give a fuck about that cop. Like they didn't give a fuck about the cops they killed January 6th.
They sure didn't.
Back the blue and we love our veterans. Get the fuck out of here. No.
I think their obsession with wanting to be able to say the N-word is because they can never get over the fact that that is the one word that they created for us to shame us, and we took it back from them, and to the point where they can't say it. And that is what their obsession is, because they don't create shit, but they created
nothing.
That. And how dare we take the one thing that they created to make us feel less than and take it and use it as a term of endearment amongst ourselves. We took all the power from it, and they have none. And that is what their obsession is with being able to say the word. We took the one thing they created. The one thing these inept motherfuckers created, and we took it back from them. And it does not hold the weight that they want it to hold. It holds the weight we want it to hold. And it's a word. We took it, to show how creative black people are. They took, white people invented that one word for one specific reason, to make us feel bad about ourselves. We took that word and we made it to the point where you can say nigga 7 different ways and it's got an emotion each and every time.
Come on, man. Come on.
And only we can do that. That's just the power of who we are and what we can do. And that is why they are so upset. We are a constant reminder of their failure. That's how it is. They see us and they're upset because every time they see us, they fail. They can't break us, which is why they're still trying. They thought slavery was going to end us. They thought Jim Crow was going to end us. They thought pre-civil rights was going to end us. Every time they try, they hurt themselves in the fucking process. They never hurt us more than they hurt themselves. Because if we already at the bottom of the barrel, it ain't shit else you could do to us.
Okay.
It's surviving is in our DNA. It is what it is. It's literally just like racism is in their DNA. Survival is in our DNA. We don't know how to not survive. So it don't matter what the fuck you do to us. That's why they can't understand why we not out there in that street. Because we don't need to be. You're not gonna break us. They get mad. Oh, y'all dancing at a time like that. Yeah, you goddamn right. You think slaves?
But do you see the progression of what you just said though? It went from listen to black women, and then they betrayed. Well, I'm not gonna say they betrayed us because the smart ones knew they wasn't gonna vote anyway. So then they did that to. Went from that to Trump is in office, and now it's yes, black women, we hear you, rest. And then it went from that to could you maybe possibly join us? And then when we said no, that inherent racism came out. Who do you think you are? We're in this together, bitch. We weren't in this together November 5th, 2024.
Exactly.
We ain't never been in shit together because when white women was fighting for their rights to vote and earn more money, they made sure black bitches went nowhere. You will not be a part of this. This ain't about you.
Out of it.
It's only all women. It's only we when the shit lands on their doorstep.
And then it's all of us when they get. This is what I'm saying. White women only seek help from black women when they don't get their way with white men. That's how that shit goes. When they don't get their way with white men, that's when they come to us. The minute they feel oppressed, They want a black woman to stand up for them. The minute a white man rejects them, they want a black man to fuck them. That's how that shit goes.
And they better stop telling they little translucent ass kids, if you're ever in trouble, seek out a black woman. Baby, I'm gonna put Timmy ass into bondage, into slavery.
Exactly. Don't come.
Seek me
Listen.
out if you want to.
Don't come. Don't come.
I'm gonna
Don't
have
come.
him washing my cotton socks. Stop playing with me.
Yeah. Don't tell. I don't need. See, that's the shit I'm talking about. Y'all still treating us like
That's
we
some
fucking
mammy
mammies over
ass
here.
shit.
You still thinking
Ain't
that
come
we
on.
mammies over here? Like, and it's the irony is that you think black people are dirty, but we clean your fucking house. You
Okay.
Come
say we
on.
don't know how to care for our kids, but we raised yours. And when we
Come
Okay.
stopped
on.
raising yours, look what the fuck happened.
Now we lazy. Now we trifling. Now we
Why
welfare. Come
why
on.
do y'all want animals that can't control themselves around y'all kids? Why?
Come
Why you
on.
don't tell your kid to go seek a black woman if they ever in
Come
trouble?
on.
But we animals who can't control our anger.
Come on.
Why you want
Exactly.
your kid to go to that person?
Because notice you don't
Come
want to go
on.
to a white man because that's the one that's gonna do something to him.
Okay.
I used to tell my kids all the time walking down the street, I don't give a fuck what the never go to a white person.
Yep.
If make that your last resort. Make that your
Exactly.
last resort.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And you know, another thing that gets me is with the farmers. They were talking like,
Yes.
oh, well, what about the farmers? I said, well, you forgetting the reason why you don't hear nothing from the black farmers, we didn't
They
get
wasn't getting
we
nothing.
weren't getting it
Wasn't getting the
anyways.
fun.
We don't never get. So I said, it didn't really affect us. It affects y'all because you needed the subsidies.
They took the money that was supposed to go to those black farmers and cut it even further and gave it to white people.
Sure did. Sure did. But you know,
They
that's
cut that shit, I think, twice. They cut the amount twice, I believe. I could be wrong. And dished it out to these white farmers. And now it's crazy because how many times does this person, and that's why you know they voted for hatred and racism. So when and now they out here trying to gaslight us, telling us we got what we deserved is probably, but then aren't you the same people that said empathy is weakness? So fuck you in your farm. I hope that all these white South Afrikaners, I hope they breed and have more little ugly ass white South Afrikaner babies and do whatever the fuck it is, white South Africa. I don't know what the fuck they do besides be racist, but I don't feel pity for none of them because you got the funding for you and you got the funding that was meant for black farmers and you still lost because of your hatred. That is a you problem, my friend.
Hold on, let's touch on them white Afrikaners because they brought them in here. You deporting Hispanic people.
Come on.
And they getting everything, the welfare, they get all these startup checks and all, but you giving it to the white Afrikaners. What have they done?
Giving them these farms that they
Hispanic
trick these
people,
stupid ass white people out of.
I'm not even gonna lie, Hispanic people, some of the hardest working people, and y'all kicking them out. We don't want them jobs y'all paying pennies for.
Come on.
Y'all should have kept them because the white Afrikaners ain't gonna take the job.
Let me. If you ever catch me out here picking cotton, bitch, I'm getting paid $500 an hour, or somebody that
I'm getting paid.
said you better
I'm getting paid $100 a pick.
Come on, come on.
Oh, so let's read some of the comments. JAOL says, this is what we still face in 2025. Racism isn't over. It's just behind screens now. Yellow 39, they always cry when they can't have their way. Ramen Ken, that walk-off says it all.
That walk-off say crackhead. That what it say.
Yeah, she was walking kind of funny.
I'm finna go home and smoke some meth right now.
My thing is why they can't never just ask for something. Like you could have said, hey, I'm trying to get out. You know, you're in my way. Do you mind just moving out? Something decent. But you had to come marching over there demanding shit like somebody gotta listen to you. Nobody has to listen to you.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. They got to make a scene. They got to make it extra.
Yeah.
You know, it got to be a grand, because, you know, to be honest, they like being the main character of every story. So
in the moment you respond, you angry and you're violent.
Yeah, it's just, but what we're going to do, we're going to end this on a good note. I'm going to show y'all this video. Where is it at, actually? Oh, snap. I guess we'll watch this one then.
This This is not the Met Gala. This is the Africa Magic Viewers Choice Awards in Nigeria. Starting with Ghanaian model Nana, her dress is literally rotating. One of my favorite looks of the night, Nigerian actress Osas, she's carrying a tree on her back. And the grass effect on the dress, it was made of towels. Doreen, wearing another tree-inspired masterpiece. Osas went for the branches, and Doreen for the roots. Kiki in a beautiful mix of fabrics, textures, and please look at this hem. Mercy was inspired by diamonds, lights, and water, and this was the outcome. There were so many more beautiful ladies who served on this red carpet, but it was not just them, because the men did not come to play. Vine Ulugu was one of my favorites, and I'm talking about the fabrics, the colors, and the jewelry. This is Stuffer, and he's wearing his own brand. Finally, Okusaga wearing this stunning suit with his twist. And most importantly, you can find all the designers who worked really hard.
Oh, she looks like a goddess.
This is
You know, I do. No, I was. Somebody was talking at the Met Gala the other day. They posted on like social media, and it was like, well, why are there not a lot of black designers just here a lot? And they keep them out because this right here. Did you see anything at this level at the Met Gala?
Nope.
Not at all.
There's nothing at that level, and it's because. And then what they'll do is they'll steal our ideas, and then they'll try to recreate it.
Yep.
But it's never as good.
And they'll put them as the first, like just like with the TikTok dances. When I seen that so many black creators get their stuff stolen, and then
white creators blow up, like the girl that went on Jimmy Kimmel, the Charlie, whatever the fuck her name is, and then people were tagging him. But one thing I appreciate that he had the original girl like on a Zoom call, but what he should have done was made apologies and brought the original creator on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed. But you know, this is why I say, you know, black. I tell you, if we ever just stop and got together and how they did these outfits and our engineers and our doctors, it would be Wakanda. But I think we have to get it together first. Yeah. Like we're far behind. But we're about to end this.
We gotta stop inviting people to the cookout.
That too.
Everybody don't need an invitation. And
don't nobody
go ahead and know that all skin folk ain't kin folk, because the ones who voted for Trump, they got to get the fuck off the boat too. They not invited.
Yep.
So we're about to end this segment, and Janine, Myra, and Nikki, thank y'all so much for joining me. Jean, where can they find you at in your content?
Boss Up and Get It Now.
All right, and that is on Instagram.
And the N is just an N. Boss Up, letter N, Get It Now.
Gotcha. And Myra?
Maya.
Sorry. Maya.
You've been saying it right until now.
We can call you everything but your name, Nish.
Maya, where can they find you at?
Hey y'all, it's Maya Lamise. Y'all can find me on all platforms at Maya Lamise, Lamis, across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Elevate with Maya, but if you type in Maya Lamise, you'll still find me.
Okay.
And last but not least, the judge.
On Instagram is bitch_happens. On YouTube is knickknack23. That's NIKNAK23. And TikTok is just bitch happens, all one word all together.
So just to be clear, that's bitch as in B-I-T-C.
Yeah. B-I-T-C-H underscore
so much.
B-I-T-C-H underscore happens is IG. Okay. And then TikTok is just bitch happens all together. The word bitch and the word happens. And then YouTube is just knickknack